You sleep with me 5 times in order to help you. My name is Osagi Oselude Monica. I'm 28.
The woman kept coming with luggages, and any day she's coming, she always come with a old car hire man, and the car hire man will stop, will park in the gate, and the woman will pick up the luggage. Once she's inside, and when he is cleaning the apartment, the woman will be inside arranging the money. He will hear the rubber band. This is money.
Whistleblowers are the first line of defense against corruption, crime, and cover-ups. This documentary details the serious personal and professional costs associated with whistleblowing in Nigeria.
The bulk of the allegations of corruption against the government are becoming oozing out of the villa and other places.
You have worked so hard, months, years, weeks, sleepless nights to work and get money, and then someone just comes from somewhere because he knows who and then takes it away from you.
Our corrupt leaders and corrupt followers have been the reason why we are where we are today.
To stem the tide of corruption in Nigeria, the federal government introduced a number of strategies, one of which is the whistleblowing policy, which was launched in December 2016. Though it doesn't have a legal backing yet as in other countries like Ghana, Uganda, South Africa, the US, the UK and India, the policy has opened a new positive window in the fight against corruption in Nigeria. In October 2017, the African Center for Media and Information Literacy, AFRICMIL, launched the Corruption Anonymous Project CORA with the support of the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation to raise awareness about the whistleblowing policy as well as the need to protect whistleblowers.
It's in recognition of the important roles that whistleblowers play in the fight against corruption that we launched the Corruption Anonymous or CORA project 2 years ago.
The MacArthur Foundation in 2015 decided to have a significant shift in its work. And at that time, the foundation decided that the best contribution it can make to Nigeria is to see how it can contribute to Nigerian-led efforts towards reducing corruption and increasing accountability in the country.
The whistleblowing policy was basically designed to encourage people to share intelligence and information that could assist government to recover assets. But we were careful to make sure that it went beyond just stolen money, that it went to the abuse of fiscal regulations, abuse of office, mismanagement of resources.
The whistleblowing policy is managed by the Presidential Initiative on Continuous Audit (PICA). Beginning from the middle of 2017, AFRICMIL began a strategic partnership with PICA aimed specifically at creating awareness about the importance of the policy in the fight against corruption, maintaining the integrity of the policy, and campaigning for protection of whistleblowers. Even though PICA has recovered a lot of money in the last 3 years because of the role of whistleblowers, one issue that remains in contention has been the payment of reward for whistleblowers. Johnson Oludare is an assistant director at PICA.
Wherever the fund is gotten, it is from that compensation will be paid to the whistleblower. It is not that you have this money have been gotten, government will now find another money somewhere to pay you. There is a recovery account, federal government recovery account. When some money, such disclosure is made, that money will be transferred to the recovery account. It's from that recovery account that you will be paid.
Whistleblowing is about providing information to expose corruption, illegal or unethical activities in an organization, which could be public or private, and anybody who does this is referred to as a whistleblower.
In the last 3 years, AFRICMIL has worked with whistleblowers who are bold enough to recount the victimization they are suffering for making disclosures on wrongdoing in their establishments. In May 2015, Mr. Aaron Kase, Chief Information Officer, Police Service Commission, wrote to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC), accusing Mr. Mike Okiro, then chairman of the Police Service Commission, of corruption, abuse of office, and fraudulent act to swindle the commission of 275,525,000 naira. For having the courage to blow the whistle, the commission initiated Kase's persecution, falsely accusing him of collecting 1 million naira to procure US visa for someone, but failed to do so. On May 27, 2015, the commission placed him on suspension without pay and followed it up with threats and intimidation, which forced Kase to relocate his family from Abuja when he sensed that they were no longer safe. He also started squatting in different locations within the city. He was recalled after intense campaign by AFRICMIL and other civil society partners, as well as a court judgment that declared his suspension illegal. Kase has since been paid all his entitlements and promoted twice.
I was given bail, I met all the bail conditions. Rather than the police go to my house to go and verify the shorty and all of that, they now drove me straight to Kuje. So I went there, I slept there. So when I got out of Kuje the following day, I saw about 5 different newspapers, including Vanguard where I had worked, and some of the screaming headlines, civil servant jailed for visa fraud and all of that.
Mr. Joseph Babatunde Akeju was a chief lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Yaba College of Technology, Lagos, before he was dismissed by the Governing Council on March 7, 2018. 2 weeks to his official retirement from public service at the age of 65. His offense was that he reported corrupt practices and other acts of improper behavior in the institution. It was the second time Akeju will be dismissed for advocating openness, transparency, and accountability in the college. He was reinstated in 2016 by Malam Adamu Adamu, Minister of Education, after 7.5 years of serious mental and physical stress. The EFCC and ICPC have yet to act on his petition. AFRICMIL has written to the Minister of Education for a reversal of the dismissal to allow Akeju retire gracefully and honorably from the college, and is also following up on the Whistleblowers petition at the EFCC and ICPC.
While I was doing this work, I was dismissed. But for 7.5 years, my family went into distress, myself and my family. Through the grace of God, after 7 years, I was reinstated by the present government when the head of state, Mohammed Buhari, came. That's when I was reinstated. But when I came back, what I met is even worse than what I was fighting. And as people know me, I can't keep quiet. I find it difficult to keep quiet. And I was dismissed the second time, passing days to the time I was to retire.
Ntia Thompson, former Assistant Director, Servicom Unit, Directorate of Technical Cooperation in Africa, DTCA, Ministry of Foreign Affairs Abuja, was illegally retired in December 2017 for reporting a case of fraud totaling $229,000 and 800,000 naira perpetrated by cartel led by Mr. Mohamed Kachala, who was then the Acting Director General of DTCA. Following sustained advocacy by AFRICMIL, other civil society groups, and the media asking for his recall, Mr. Thompson was reinstated 7 months later. Still, the persecution wouldn't stop, forcing Mr. Thompson to seek redeployment to the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, where he is now Deputy Director, Human Capital. His salaries and entitlements for those 7 months of his unlawful retirement have yet to be paid. Sambo Abdullahi, Deputy General Manager and Head of Internal Audit, Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC (NBET), was neither sacked nor suspended, but was redeployed to Learning and Development Unit, where he has remained redundant in addition to being denied his salary and other entitlements since December 2017. His offense was that he refused to cooperate in fraudulent practices and abuse of office, including violation of due process perpetrated by Dr. Marilyn Amobi, Managing Director and CEO of NBET. In March 2019, the ICPC released a report of an investigation which exonerated and vindicated Abdullahi but indicted Dr. Amobi for violating procurement laws. Africmil subsequently called on the secretary to the government to expedite action in ensuring justice for the whistleblower in view of his vindication by the ICPC. Abdullahi continues to suffer physical and mental torture for reporting corruption.
My salary was unlawfully stopped, but up to now, nobody's done anything to reinstate my salary. I've passed through so many psychological trauma. I've lost some of my dependents. My children cannot go to school again. Even myself, I struggle to survive.
The victim and whistleblower in the sex for marks scandal at Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU Ile-Ife, Monica Osagi, told the investigative panel that handled the case that the accused, Professor Richard Akindele, deliberately failed her because she refused his sexual demands.
A classmate of mine walked up to me and told me, "Oh, Monica, you failed Akindele's course." And she and I went together to his office. I was like, "Sir, please, can I see my script?" I was like, "No, it's against the university policy. Since I've not pasted the result, you can't see the script." And he brought out a white sheet. He just said, "See, you failed." I was like, "Okay, sir, what's the..." He said, "You know what to do now." I was like how?" Then he pointed to his dick. And he said 5 times. At first, I pretended not to understand what he was saying. The next thing he said was, "You sleep with me 5 times. In order to help you with what you want."
Mr. Muritala Aliu Ibrahim, the unit head ICT Process Audit and Special Investigation, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, and his boss, Mr. Teslim Anibaba, both auditors at the bank, were severely punished for exposing a variety of contract fraud and refusal of Internal Audit Group to endorse the bank's fraudulent 2016 half-year income validation report. While Anibaba was suspended, Muritala was sacked in May 2017. As directed by the then Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, Anibaba was later recalled and transferred from the headquarters to its Port Harcourt office. When he protested, his transfer was changed to Kaduna. Mr. Anibaba has since resigned his appointment. It was not until December 2018 that Ibrahim eventually got justice as he was called back to work, but he was immediately asked to resume in the Jalingo Taraba State office of the bank. All his efforts to seek transfer to another government agency were blocked by the management of the bank. He was sacked for the second time on September 26, 2019. Muritala Ibrahim's case is now a subject of public hearing in the National Assembly under the Committee on Public Petitions.
When I was coming back, they actually called me to say that I should resign, because when the ministry brought him back, he said we should give him a warning, letter of undertaking. And our staff condition of service say, if you have a warning letter and you commit misconduct, the next one is dismissal. And we are not able to keep him. While the petitioner was busy battling for the termination of wrongful termination of his appointment, the next thing he got was a dismissal. 2 days after, or a day after, a publication was made in one of the national dailies, a disclaimer warning the general public about the petitioner, thereby defaming the petitioner.
The managing director and CEO of the bank, Architect Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, who was absent at the first 2 hearings, appeared at the 3rd and final hearing to defend the decision of the bank. The House Committee slated February 5, 2020 to give its judgment on the matter. On April 12, 2017, the EFCC stormed an apartment on the 7th floor of Osborne Towers located at 16 Osborne Road, Ikoyi, Lagos, where it discovered $43.4 million, £27,800 and £23.2 million naira stashed in bags and office safes. That discovery was made possible through the effort of 3 whistleblowers, One of the whistleblowers narrated his ordeal in an interview with Benga Aruleba of Africa Independent Television, AIT.
Even right now as I'm talking to you, my life is not safe. Because the cleaner boys know me, I have to run for my life. I'm no longer staying in Ikoyi again, I'm running and you know my business. This has become a threat to my life.
I think that the major challenge that we have seen over the last number of years is the question of protection. We know there are a number of people who have been victimized because they have come to report or have reported certain people who have done some bad things within their ministry, within their own institutions, and that issue of protection is certainly a critical factor.
It shows quite a lot of insincerity on the part of government as a whole. Where there are no enabling legislation to assist in the protection of whistleblowers.
There must be sufficient legislation to protect the identity of whistleblowers and of course all manner of inducements that will be given for which promises are made must be kept so that people will be encouraged with their identities protected.
The whistleblower is to the anti-corruption war exactly or close to what the media is to a democracy.
You can only get information if people are willing to come forward. The whistleblowing has opened up the space for many more people to have the courage to speak out, to give you more information and to expose what would have otherwise been covered.
I would say that we need to, especially civil society organizations, we need to collaborate more. There needs to be a partnership in driving the policy, the whistleblowers policy.
The whistleblower protection mechanism is absolutely necessary to encourage people to disclose information of misconduct.
We have to get together, we have to make this organizing a consistent thing, because this bill is one of the bills that have been in the parliament in the last 16 years, at least 16 years, and is yet to be passed. It's been over a decade.
The National Assembly is the burial ground of good laws. But what can turn it around into a place where good laws are made is active citizen engagement with the process of lawmaking, especially sunshine laws like the whistleblowing bill.
The policy framework needs to dovetail into a robust legislation, and the importance of a whistleblowing law cannot be overemphasized. First and foremost, it gives clarity on what the legal framework for whistleblowing is. Secondly, it puts it as part of our legal regime so that it's not dependent on the commitment of any government in power.
It provides protection for public servants who will be whistleblowed against if you lie against an individual, if you manufacture tales, about corruption that are not true. The Whistleblowers Act, cannot help you.
Well, through the support that we give to APPG, which is one of the major institutions that support the whistleblower policy, but also through the presidential initiative on continuous audit, I think that we have seen that over the last 3 years, we have seen that it is a tool that have been used in order to gain more resources for the government.
APPG and the ICR are part of the MacArthur Foundation on Nigeria Accountability Project, and APPG works under that umbrella around the issue of whistleblowing, whistleblower protection, working with whistleblowers to build confidence around that culture. And along the line, as they did their work, we found a whole lot of content for our own journalistic work in what they were doing.
We have taken up the cases of whistleblowers in the country who are facing victimization, and we hope with the passage of the Whistleblower Protection Act, our job will be made easier.
Of course, I wouldn't mind to be a whistleblower as long as I will be protected.
Truly, if I see corruption, I will expose corruption because I am a patriotic Nigerian.
Why not? I go blow the whistle now.
Clearly, in the opinion of citizens and stakeholders, there can't be an effective whistleblowing regime without a law that protects whistleblowers. But it is not just a law, it must be a law that is progressive, one that suits the peculiar context of Nigeria.